Alright, second part. I use a big Berkey water filter. My phone's all upside down. I use a big Berkey water filter to purify all my water because it does like 2 or 3 gallons of water, and it's really convenient. It's nice to have either bottled. I don't like bottled water though because you got to buy it and it costs $3-4 to buy a case, and using what I got here, using like I don't know what that is, like 40 gallon or 50 gallon tote to put water in, using bottled water, yeah, that costs a lot of money after a while. So I invested in this big Berkey water filter a while ago for just having clean water if the water quality in the area got bad or something like that, or if I was gonna be doing indoor gardening. So it's perfect. I also got PVC here. This is another system I do, and then I kind of put bucket bubblers in between all this. But I do the PVC system for smaller plants. So like if I was making clones, like I'll be doing clones and growing all at the same time in the beginning of my next cycle. And so I use the PVC for the smaller plants. I tried to use it for the bigger plants, but it clogs up the PVC line, and I don't know. It like makes it hard for water to get around, and then the roots get all soggy and black, and they rot, and then your plants die, like what happened to me. So, I'll give you a hint too. A lot of people don't know this. This is expensive advice I'm giving you, but I'll give it to you for free. And that is, do not let your water temperature in your grow get above like 75 degrees at the most. At the most. 70 is preferred. 70 and less. What happens is the water gets too warm and it carries a lot of viruses and bacteria and mold and algae and fungus and on and on and on. And it gets caught in the root systems, and then it eats away at the roots, and then your plant dies, and you're trying to figure out why your plant died. You're going through the whole thing, and it's simple. You got to have your water 70 degrees and below, so you got to switch out your water like every 10 days. You put it in cold, it gets a little warm. 10 days later, it's over 70 to 75. You flush it out, put new nutrients in it. If you don't want to have to flush out your water all the time, you got to use a water chiller. And a water chiller, I don't have one because they're like $300. But yeah, water chiller is the other way to do that. And the water goes in the chiller, out the chiller, and boom, water is always the same temperature. But if you don't have that kind of money, you just got to flush out your water. And best way to flush out water, I've learned, is to put a pump in the water, because you got pumps running water from, like, you'll have pumps running water from your thing here, your gray tote, like I got, that I modified. But I got my water pumps in there, and then they go to these black tubes, and those black tubes go around down here, and they go to the top, and then the water goes down, 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 this whole system I got here, and goes back down to the gray tote. And then I got my, these are, the air bubblers are in the water, so they keep the water mixing. And then I also got like air bubblers like insides of these cups here. That clear tube is of air, and that goes into there, and it just kind of like keeps the water mixed up while it's running through the pipe. So I've learned different tricks to keep things going and keeping things booming, and it's working because I've gotten better and better at this. And my plants don't die anymore. I mean, you can see like even my lettuce, tomato buds, like whatever you want. I taught myself how to make those bucket bubblers with a little help from YouTube. It's simple once you get it down. It's like 8 counts. 8 count movement. It's like you have 1 thing you do, 2 things you do, 3 things you do, and there's like 8 sets of things you do. It's simple. It takes, I'd say once you get proficient, it probably takes 15 minutes a bucket. In the beginning, it took 30 to 45 minutes a bucket. And then there's my old bubbler bucket, the one I used, but those are too short. That's why you only see one in one plant for that whole bucket. It's really short. It's like, I don't know, 8 inches tall. The roots, when it's 8 inches tall, the roots just lay on the bottom and they get wet and they don't hang down like they're supposed to. So you know, you're gonna have your buckets, and they're taller. You know, they're like a couple feet approximately, and the roots hang down. And those guys, that one right there with the white lid, and the roots hang down, and the water's just barely in the bottom, so the roots are just hitting the water, but they're not just sitting in water. And that's important. The same thing over here. You got the same thing right here. And the same thing right here. Different colors, but who gives a shit, right? I mean, you're not looking for aesthetics in your grow. You're looking for plants that, you know, bloom and make flowers and make vegetables, fruit, bud, whatever it is you're doing. And then I made these. I didn't even talk about these. These things are. I made these for my CFL light covers to focus the light down. And everybody knows what those metal pans are. I mean, you know, roasted pans or whatever, different sizes. There's like a pie dish. These are like $2 to $3 each. Cheap ass way to make a cover. You just cut a slit in the top. You put it together, then you fit the light in the 4 ways, whatever you're using. See, like I have an adapter here, right there. If you look underneath, that's like a 4-way adapter. 2 red lights, 2 white lights. And there's like a 2-way, yeah, that's a 2-way adapter. And those are those huge CFL bulbs. You get a lot of work done. And then there's another 4-way adapter with the CFL underneath that one. So, yeah, I'm always changing that stuff around, modifying, and can't use this one right now. I actually got a light with a mogul base. Mogul is the bigger base for the bigger bulbs, like an HPS or a metal halide, but you can't use those without a ballast because you could